as always, that was a good friend of the show, former podcast guest Colin Gowell with his song Podcast. I am Steve Shoney. I'm the city manager for the city of Arlington. I am here, as always, as usually.
99% of the time.
99% of the time. Although it can't be 99% because we haven't had 100 shows. It's probably more like 47.5%. Or, 97.5%.
Yeah, fair. Look at you with your math skills.
I know, I've been mathy this week. And you are.
I am City Attorney Darren Steve. I'm glad you teased the fact that we're nearing some milestones.
We are nearing some milestones. So this is the beginning of season 3.
Whoa. Oh, yeah, it's January.
So we are entering the new year. So we're entering our 3rd year. I think this is show 40.
This is 41.
41. Our last show was show 40, so we're coming up on number 50. We're already starting to think of some plans.
We have some surprises teased.
We do have some things teased out for number 40. Although I will encourage everybody on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, or wherever you get your podcasts, please check out our new cover art.
Oh yeah,
is that the right
that's
way?
Right, CD art, yeah.
Is that producer Maggie special? Can we give you credit for that?
Oh yeah, that's all me.
Enjoy that for like 8 episodes, and then really enjoy the 50th episode.
Don't build it up too much, dude. We gotta work on this.
I really think you should include some dancing.
I mean, sure.
So that is a great intro to our guest, because we've been on this little kick where we're going back and talking to some of the fun people that we have working for the city, and today is one of our most fun people that work for the city. We have Karen Brown with us. Karen is, if you will, the tax man at the city of Upper Arlington.
Which you wouldn't think would be a super fun person doing that job.
No, but we have the funnest of the fun people doing that job. Karen, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
So
you guys are fun. You make it fun.
Thank you. What is your, now I should know this, but what's your official title?
Examiner.
Okay. It's much more fun to say she's the tax lady.
Yeah. This examiner, I've been thinking about this whole examiner title. It's very, very old school. Tax friend. Yeah. I'm your tax friend.
I don't know. I mean, I'm all a big believer of truth in advertising. But
we'll get to why she's the tax friend. But
friend might be.
You've listened to a few of our podcasts, right? So you know what's coming. What's coming?
Craziness.
Well, the first thing that comes
questions
is our start bench cut. So I'm going to give you 3. We're going to do this a couple different ways.
Okay.
I'm going to give you 3 things. And you kind of alluded to this. So we give you 3 things. 1, you get to do like every day. It's your ride or die all the time. The second thing is you get to pull it out for second occasions. It's kind of, so the first one's your starter. Second one, well, you're a sports fan. Start, bench, cut.
Gone.
It's see ya.
Dead
Bye.
You never can do it again.
Okay.
Line dances.
Starter!
No, we're picking different line dances.
I'm going to give you 3.
You're giving me, okay.
I'm going to give you 3.
Okay,
I'm going to give you 3 line dances. The cha-cha slide.
Okay.
The electric slide.
Okay.
Or the Cupid shuffle.
So
which one are you going to start? Which one are you going to have on the bench? Which one are you cutting?
So I'll start with the Cupid shuffle.
Okay.
A bench. Cha-cha.
Uh-huh.
And what was the third one?
Electric slide.
The electric slide, yeah.
You are cutting the electric slide?
Yeah, I'm cutting, that's old school, yeah. I mean, I did that when I was in my 20s.
It's like a standard.
Yeah, it's standard, but that's the thing.
You're never going to be invited to another wedding.
You're going to go to weddings and they're going to take care and come dance. You're like, I'm sorry, I cut that one.
Karen, I thought you were the dance lady at the wedding. I can't. I cut that one. Darren said I can't. I'm good at, yeah.
If you play the Cupid shuffle, maybe.
I mean, really? That wasn't really a fair question.
What?
Because I like all line dances. I'm not benching anybody. I mean, I'm going to dance regardless.
All right. You threw out the challenge. You said you like all line dances.
I really do.
So I'm going to take you to a different genre of line dance.
I'm
going to give you 3 more. The boot scootin' boogie.
Okay.
The honky tonk badonkadonk.
That's a song?
That's a song.
The honky tonk badonkadonk.
Maggie,
God.
wow.
Oh,
She just
wow.
flexed her.
She just flexed on
Touch
That
your
that.
was
music.
actually really good.
Well, I was in select choir in the 12th grade, so.
Wow.
Oh.
I'm just confused as to why Select Choir was singing that song, but
And then Old Town Road with Lil Nas and Billy Ray Cyrus. Fun fact, my college roommate worked on one of Billy Ray Cyrus's albums, but I'll just drop it out.
I thought you were gonna say your college roommate was Billy Ray Cyrus for a minute. And I
He
was
had
about to-
Billy. He thought he was Billy Ray Cyrus. Bill actually thought he was Billy Ray Cyrus.
His name was Bill?
Yeah,
Oh wow.
Bill Greer. Shout out.
Hope he listens.
Wow.
He
So
does.
which one of those do you dance to the country music
Do you
line
do
dances
country
too?
music line dances?
Probably like once or twice.
Like if we put it on right now, would you know the moves? Or would you like watch the people and do it?
Mm.
I won't even try line dancing, Karen. Like I see it.
No,
and
I
I'm
don't
like,
know. I mean,
can't do it.
I have, yes. I mean,
Or,
I've been.
or would you watch the people find the door and
No,
Okay,
no,
okay.
no. I would participate. Yeah, I would participate. But yeah, I've never done any of those line dances.
all right? So
We
that
just mentioned them.
They're all benched, not cut. You'll still do them. You'll
I'll
still
still
do
do them. They're not cut. They just benched. We'll
All
just
right.
bench them.
I got one more thing that we're gonna do in the same genre, but I'm not gonna make you do start bench cut. So as our 3 regular listeners know, we send out to our guests a couple questions, and one of those questions is favorite musical genre. You said old school funk.
Yes.
So here's what I got. Here's what I gotta know. So are you a Earth, Wind, and Fire funk,
Oh yes.
or a James Brown funk?
Oh yes.
Oh, sound effect use. Nice job, Maggie.
Oh yes.
Or a Parliament Funkadelic?
Yeah,
Oh my
that would you,
God.
George Clinton, right?
So here's my question for you then. Is so I look at the progression as like early in the barbecue, it's Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Mm-hmm.
About 7 o'clock, you start going more James Brown.
Yeah.
After 11, it's all Parliament Funkadelic.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Do I have that
You
right?
pretty much got that
Okay.
right. Would you been to some black cookouts?
It might have been. Might have been. Now I wasn't
Yeah.
dancing, but I
You
might
weren't
have
dancing.
been
You
there a
like, oh
couple-
yeah, I see what they doing.
I was chair dancing.
I'm like, oh okay, okay, yeah. No, seriously, yes, that's the way it goes, and we always end with the Soul Train line to a Parliament Funkadelic song. That's how you end the cookout. That's when it's time to go home. All right, you guys line up, So yeah.
All right, so I got it right.
Yeah,
I saw
yeah,
George
it's
Clinton
pretty
in
good.
concert
Shut up.
at the Woodstock where everything got burned down and stuff. He was there.
You went to that?
I did go to that. It's fun, Darren. Fact. I was the squarest person at Woodstock.
I have. So I'm trying to picture Darren with George Clinton braids with the ribbons in, and
Yeah, I did not have
no,
that.
you did not have that. Okay.
But I did like
Oh
some.
my God, no.
I did like some P-Funk.
No, I was at a really cool James Brown concert. Probably in the early 70s. I mean, I was a teenager. I was probably like 14. And that's when he came out with the Fire It Up album.
Yeah.
And so they come out as this big skeleton kind of face, like on this big old, he's talking. He's like, oh, hey, you guys, are you ready to party? And we're like, yeah,
Well, I still remember. So my first big concert I ever went to see the Rolling Stones play in Indianapolis in the old Hoosier Dome. And I don't know if you guys remember the band Living Colour.
Oh yeah.
Rock band.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought they were the coolest thing since sliced bread. And so I'm like, they were opening for the Stones, and I didn't know much about music at that point. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go see Living Colour.
They're like,
And I remember when they were really great. I forget the lead singer's name. He used to swing his hair around, fell off stage, thought it was hysterical. And then the Stones come out, and I'll never forget their first song. "Start Me Up" is what they were doing for their first song. All of a sudden, the lights go dark. There's a backlight. They've got this giant stage with all this scaffolding, and Mick Jagger's backlit, and his whole shadow's across the stage. And of the shadow, you see his leg popping and like his lips sticking out in the shadow. And I'm like, oh my God, this band's the coolest thing ever. And from then on, I've been a Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
I just
think
love that you went
what's
to
so
a
cool-
Rolling Stones concert, but not for the Rolling Stones.
No,
but
that's
for
good. I
Living
mean, that's
Colour.
what happens when you're
Yeah.
like a teenager. You're like, oh, I want to go to this hot new band. And you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, well, I think too. You're talking about something that happened, in the '70s. That the technology that they, the whole stage presence. I
Yeah.
mean, because his skeleton, he's moving his mouth, and you're just trying to figure out. Like today, you'd be thinking, oh yeah, we know it's easy to implement. And so I thought that, but yeah, that sticks out in my head. Like, yeah.
Was James Brown your first big concert?
No. So actually, the Isley Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my first concert. Yeah, that was my first. Yeah, I had a little date and everything, and yeah, it's like, I want to take you to the concert. And I was like, well, my mom needs to talk to your mom. And, I'm like 13, and at the Coliseum, that's where we went, And so it's like, So his mom picked me up and took us to the concert. And yeah, we like, grew with you, Isley Brothers up in there. I'm like, yes. So yeah, that was my first concert, yeah.
You told me what yours was, Darren, but remind me, what was your first concert?
It was MC Hammer. And it's kind of like related to Steve's story with the Stones. His opening acts were Boyz II Men and TLC, but it was kind of before they blew up. So TLC just had it was their first song before No Scrubs and all the other stuff. Ain't Too Proud to Beg was the only song they had.
Okay.
But yeah, so MC Hammer was the headliner of my first concert.
Okay.
It takes a lot to kind of beat that one in terms of like
That is.
flashpoint and just complete crash.
That's right, because I asked you if you had the MC Hammer pants.
No.
Might have had some MC Hammer fans. Oh, she's doing it.
Karen is doing just stood up into the MC Hammer fast feet side to side dance move. That was impressive. That was very good. So that was a very taxing discussion.
Oh,
wow, that was.
Oh, and so we are at the beginning of the year. I'm trying to find a way to.
No, that's a perfect transition.
Well, I could have said, actually, here's the better one. Here's the better transition. Now, as I recall, MC Hammer got in some tax trouble.
And so did the Isley Brothers.
Oh, they did.
Ron Isley.
Well, and James
Well, so did
Brown.
James Brown, actually.
James
James Brown
Brown.
did too.
all the old school goodies got in tax
Wherever
trouble.
Karen goes, there's tax trouble, I guess.
We're getting into tax season. It's beginning of the year. Folks are starting to get their stuff. And when we started thinking about having podcasts on, in addition to wanting to sit around and talk, James Brown didn't know we were going to get Isley Brothers, which is a great thing. Didn't know we were going to get MC Hammer, which is a whole different story.
Not as good.
But we did want to have you on and talk a little bit of some seriousness, not too serious though, about how this municipal tax, like from a practical matter, work for our residents.
So let's see here. Well, basically, most cities in Ohio all have a municipal tax. That's what we use to take care of the roads and pay our salaries, police, fire. I mean, it takes care of the city. And so 2.5% tax rate. The caveat to that is a lot of people who live in UA don't realize that they have to pay this municipal tax or that it's not being taken out their paycheck. So when you live in big cities like Columbus, it's usually automatically taken out of your check and you don't really think about it. But when you move to suburbs, sometimes your employer doesn't actually do that. So for us, it becomes kind of a issue here in the city.
So Karen, let's say you work in one place and you live in another place, where do you have to file your municipal income tax? Like, who kind of gets priority? Because I know some people say, well, I work here and I live here. How does that work for someone who doesn't know?
So if you live in UA, we have a tax filing requirement. So if you live in UA, you file your taxes. But my employer, I work in Columbus, my employer takes it out. You still need to file your taxes. So a lot of people don't understand that. So
And who's this Rita woman?
well, first of all, she's not a woman. She's a man. Okay, get it right.
See, the other thing for me with me for tax season is I like Karen, and Rita was my grandmother, and so like Don't talk bad about Karen and don't talk bad about
oh,
Rita.
good.
But explain Rita.
Yeah. So Rita, so it's really funny because the customers they'll come in and like, well, she sent me this. Well, first of all, she's not a she, she's a he. You know, we're gonna take it from the female, take it off the female, put it on. That's how we do. But that's where that comes from. But however, Rita is our regional income tax agency. So it's just the acronym for who manages our taxes. Rita is a tax administrator for over 400 cities in Ohio. So they help us administer the tax and manage the tax for us.
So if someone gets something from Rita, that's basically because Rita is doing this sort of taxi stuff for us.
Yes,
but they're
they work
official, they're on behalf of us, that's legit.
Yes. So Rita is real. It's not a scam. A lot of people think that, oh, I got this from Rita. I don't know if it's a scam. I don't need to come in and talk to you. No, Rita, they manage our taxes. They work for us. We pay Rita to take care of that for us. So that's what Rita is.
Rita doesn't send me $25 every Christmas like
You're Rita?
my grandmother do. It just makes me sad.
You probably liked getting letters from that Rita.
I did.
Yeah, you don't want to get a letter from Rita.
Yeah.
So in terms of people filing taxes, what are some deadlines or things they should keep in mind? I know tax season's coming, but like, what are things due? How does that work? What keeps them out? First, what keeps them out of trouble with you, and then what happens if they do get in trouble?
Yeah. So first of all, this year the tax deadline is April 15th. The regular deadline. The last couple of years they moved it to the 18th, and they moved it to different dates because of either weekends or certain holidays they had.
Things like Easter's around that time.
Yeah, or something.
Yeah.
So this year tax filing deadline is April 15th. You must file your taxes by April 15th. You can get an extension if you apply for extension with the government. Your federal taxes, then we'll accept that extension, but you still need to pay. So it's not an extension to pay, it's an extension to file. So you still need to pay what we call your estimated taxes. You need to pay that if you're going to owe estimated taxes.
And what happens, let's just say someone's like, I don't care, I don't like taxes or government, I'm not paying anything. I assume you come in, I work with you in that area. So what happens if someone who just blows it off and just literally doesn't work with you?
So after time, so what Rita does, they manage our taxes, and they usually, so I've been here, about 2.5 years. So it seems like Rita will manage the current year for about 1.5 years. Then once they can't, once they can't collect on the person, then what they do is they will say, okay, city, this is your problem now. And that's where I come in. So they send me every quarter about 80 to 90 residents that have not paid their taxes or have not filed their taxes. And so pretty much they've already sent them like 3 letters and that. So then I turn around and I start sending letters to them. And so usually by the second letter, I usually get a response. And then we go with payment plans and we set people up and we start collecting.
You'll work with someone.
Yeah.
So I guess the first lesson is if you're having financial difficulties and you just can't pay it, it's not a good idea just to ignore it and hope it'll go away because it'll get worse.
Yeah, it'll get worse. And so what happens is that, I'm sending out 3 letters, and then that 4th letter comes from your office, Darren. You send out a letter from your office, and then after that, we don't hear anything, then that's when we end up in our mayor's court process. And then, we kind of go from there. And so pretty much in the end, I have a pretty good collection rate, probably a good 85 to 90%, like full going all the way through the whole process. Even if it's court, sometimes people just pay up front. They get a letter from me and 3 days later I have a check. So cool.
Well, and one of the things that I love about working with you is we do get comments of folks who say, hey, I had this problem. I called Karen. She was so nice. She was so helpful. She helped me figure it out. We put it on it so that it wasn't, look, you still got to pay the money, but we try and find ways to not make it any more burdensome than it has to be. So I really do appreciate how you kind of will sit down and really work with somebody. Now, you're not going to do their taxes for them, but kind of figuring out, okay, this doesn't have to be the end of the world.
Yeah, no, exactly. I'm a taxpayer too, so I understand, and I have personal issues. Everybody has a story.
Right.
And I have so I try to appeal to that, but I'm letting them know, like, you still got to pay the money, but what can I do to help? And I may throw a number out, depending on how much they owe. I might say, well, can you pay $300 a month? And they say, oh, well, and I'm like, well, you tell me what you can pay. because I don't want to. I learned even with myself over the years, don't jump out and say you can pay something when you know you really can't pay it. So they say, well, can I start out with 200? Okay, so then just bring in the 200 and we work with you. That's what we want to do.
So unsolicited lesson number 2 is if you get on one of those payment plans, you got to make the payments.
Yes.
Like some people will come in and make a payment and then they think that you forgot about them.
Yep.
And that's when they end up with me.
Yeah.
So like if you keep making the payments and working with Karen, you're going to be fine. If you blow her off and don't answer the phone, you're probably going to end up in my mayor's court, which I don't want to see. So.
Yeah, right. So we have a pretty good system to collect. I think we do a pretty good job collecting the taxes, but also too, my number one job is education. I really want to educate the residents because in their defense, they don't know, or
Right.
they say they don't know. They just have a clue, because it's surprising. A lot of people who move to UA, they come from a lot of them come from another state, and it's surprising. But only 14 states out of the whole 50 states have a municipal tax.
Well, you
Okay.
just flexed some knowledge that I didn't even know right there.
Yeah, so there's only 14 states that have a municipal tax. Everybody else, so most people don't know about it. I think it's us, Pennsylvania. I don't know all 14. I know about 4. So us, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Kentucky. There's like a couple others up
I mean,
and
you
down
can
the
just
East
say
Coast.
50 states. I'm not.
Yeah.
Gonna that's cool.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of them don't have it. So when you come, people move here from New York, they move here from Florida, they move from state. They're like, I don't know. I never heard of this. I don't know what it is. Well, just because you haven't heard of it doesn't mean it doesn't exist, But so my job is to educate people and give you the information this year or last year. So next year, I'm hoping that I see this influx of people coming in, founders. I've been here, like I said, 2.5 years. So I've been educating the residents for 2.5 years. So hopefully this year, people are just coming in and they know, what's going on, and they just come in and get their taxes filed. Going back, I will file your municipal taxes. So I will start filing people's municipal taxes starting the end of January.
You'll help
April
people.
15th.
You'll actually do it.
Yeah, they'll come in if you bring your 1040 and you bring your W-2s. I will do your municipal taxes here in the office during the tax season.
I mean,
So, yeah.
is that like open to everybody?
Meaning
like
like
us?
city managers
And
and
city
city attorneys. And,
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, I do Nassers every year.
What? He didn't even tell us when he was on here. Why did he
We
bring
had
that
him
up?
on last time, and I didn't
Yeah.
know you were coming on.
I
next
know.
week.
I did.
Maybe he wanted to make sure he got in there first.
Yeah, I
before
heard
we
it.
left.
Yeah. So yeah, here's the police, a couple police officers, because when they do their special duty, and if you live here, So
Residents can come in and you can help with the
With
local.
the
yes,
municipal tax. We're not doing your federal taxes. We're not. But if
No.
you bring in all your federal taxes, all your state taxes, that gives enough stuff that you can sit down with somebody and be like, all right, let's bang this out.
yep.
A couple, maybe I want to make this podcast somewhat educational. It already is, but
Mm-hmm.
can you give us some sort of like
We talked a lot about James Brown. It's been
Yeah.
educational.
questions that I hear a lot about taxes are like, what do I do if I'm retired? Do I have to file? My kids, do they have to file if they worked at the pools in the summer? Do you have answers to
Right.
this type of question?
So first of all, so there's a lot of questions that people ask. College students, retired, I don't have any taxable income. So first of all, if you're a college student and you use your parents' residence here in UA, and if wherever you're at college, you still need to file a municipal tax. Okay, so if you work somewhere because you're using that as your home, as your permanent residence. Okay.
So if you're a student at in New York, but you never change your address to there, so all your mail's coming here, and you
That's
got
your
to file here.
Yes, you
even
have
though
to
you
file
don't live
here.
here.
Yes, because your permanent resident is where you, they call it decimal. That's where you do everything. People, that's where you get your mail. That's where you vote. That's where all your information
That
is.
probably
So,
trips up a lot of people because they're like, I wasn't even in UA.
yeah. So yeah, it doesn't matter because I can go stay in Georgia for 9 months and I just stay there. That doesn't mean I live there. I'm just hanging out there, but my permanent residence is here in Ohio. So unless you change your address, change your voting registration, change your driver's license, you're still a resident of Ohio, Columbus, UA, wherever you live, you're still a resident here. So that's the one thing. If your kids work at the pools, if they're under 18, they don't have to file municipal tax. So under
and
18,
nobody has to declare that. That kid just gets to keep
yeah,
it.
they get to keep it. So what happens though, if well, if they work at the pools, we here in our, because we probably won't get much of this in, but I'm also part of the payroll team too. So here we actually, if you are under 18, we don't withhold the municipal tax from your paycheck. But you may work at Giant Eagle or you may work somewhere else where they will withhold the municipal tax. Well, at the end of your work year, if you're under 18 and it's more than $10.01, then you can apply for a refund.
Ooh.
Okay.
Dude, that's news you can use to get some money. If you're under 18 and you work at Giant
18.
Eagle.
Yeah, so I loved it. I worked from 13 all the way up to I was 18, under 18. And so I loved it when I got a refund from Columbus for my city taxes. I filed that sucker every year and got
a little Valentine's Day gift from the city.
Yes, oh yeah.
But they don't have to file. So if you're working at the pool and you're 16, you don't have to file.
You don't have to file, no. And like I said, if you're working in UA, we do not withhold it. But if you have a job somewhere else in UA, like a grocery store or something, they may withhold the tax and then you can get it refunded. So yeah.
What about folks who are like retired?
Yes.
But they get that, you get something on Social Security or a pension or something.
Yeah. So municipal tax is only earned income. So wages, earned income, property, if you own property, earned income. So if you're retired, you don't have to pay the municipal tax. But when you retire, you need to complete an exemption form because we don't know that you're retired. There's no way for us to know. So you come in, complete a exemption form, and then we send that off to Rita, and then you're retired. So you don't have to do anything.
And that keeps them from coming after you for figuring to file because they know you're not filing.
Right.
Otherwise, they're looking at you didn't file this year, you did last year, they're going to come get you.
Right. So you need to, every time you change like your filing status, you need to let us know. So let's say you go out and then you get a job, at Giant Eagle down the street. Okay. Now you're working, but you're retired, but you work part-time. Now you need to come back and file again. Let's say you decide next year, I'm retired, I'm not going to work that job. Then you need to refile your exemption form for that. So if you're retired, if you don't have any taxable income, let's say you don't work. There's a lot of people who don't have any taxable income. So you just need to file an exemption form. Let us know that you don't have any taxable income. Along with, I think they require you to have your 1040. But yeah.
And that again keeps them from saying, hey, you should be filing something. Now you just know, hey, up front, I don't have anything.
Yeah, we don't know. I mean, I think that's the thing that people don't understand is really it's just a paperwork. Yeah. It's a paperwork thing. It's like we just need to know, and then once that's on file, then we move forward.
So and part of it is we'll send you letters that sound a little bit angry to get your attention sometimes, but you come in and talk to us. We'll help you figure it out.
Yeah, I mean that's like I said, that's the main thing is to be supportive, helpful, and just educate people because a lot of people they just don't know. So that's kind of like where I come in to educate, but still collect the tax and get people comfortable with paying the money because they come in and they're like happy. I mean, I've made some really good friends, I guess. I mean, my tax people are they're cool. I mean, they come in, they're happy to see me. Oh, it's Karen here. Oh, how you doing? I mean, they send me cards, holiday card. I mean, they're really nice. I mean, even had one from Penn State. One of the customers, he's a Penn State. He's a doctor. He's a Penn State guy, and he actually, I told the girls one day, Lisa and Deb out there, says. He calls, and if I'm not there, even less, he was really upset. I was like, yeah, he thinks he's my boyfriend or something. That's like he's not my boyfriend. I was like, he thinks he's my boyfriend. They're like cracking up, and they're like, what? He comes through the door. He calls me. He's like, oh, are you there? I'm like, yeah. He's like, you gonna be there? I'm like, I'll be here. He's like, okay. He comes in, and he's walking in, and I think it's one of the officers that's here in the afternoon. He walked him over for some reason. I think their machine was down. He said, yeah, I'll come to see. He said, that's my girlfriend. I said, I told you guys he thinks he's my boyfriend. But he's a really good guy. So I have good relationships with my customers.
Nobody's that excited to see me or Steve probably when they come in.
They're excited to see me like that also. It must just be you.
Oh, yeah. I'm the only one. Sorry. No one's city attorney.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah. So it's good. We try to help.
So this has been actually really informative. Appreciate you coming on. I do like doing these, like doing this with you and with Nasser last time. It's fun because you're a couple of people who are mostly behind the scenes that folks who are in the community don't really get to see you and know you and both of you are two of my favorite people
Thank
who
you.
work around here. So you are the least Karen that I know.
Oh man, it took like 30 minutes before he made a Karen reference.
I got it out there. That was on my mental list of jokes to make. What is the most Karen? Like, well, first of all, how did it feel when that whole Karen thing came up as a Karen?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Is like, first of all, like, I mean, it didn't bother me. First of all, you know, she's a white woman.
You're distinguished already, so you don't have to worry about
So
it.
I'm kind of disconnected, but people, it doesn't bother me. Like, I don't know, I've been caring for so long that I don't get it.
It's kind of like an insult now, and it's like your name.
Yeah, I know it's an insult but I'm not insulted. You know,
That's because you're nice.
Because I'm Kiwi Brown, remember?
Oh, that's
I'm Kiwi
right.
Brown.
We didn't explain that on this episode. We got to rehash that.
We were talking before we went live that Karen is a grandmother and has been a grandmother for some time, and her grandmother name is Kiwi.
Yes.
Which is kind of the coolest grandmother name ever, by the way.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And so was that she just couldn't say grandmother, and your granddaughter? It's granddaughter, right?
Yeah, granddaughter.
Or
yeah.
did you just straight up pick it because it was cool?
No, so it's funny because I went to a conference downtown when a year before, 2000, I think. Yeah, 2000. Went to a conference downtown because my granddaughter was born in 2001. So I went to a conference. I met these girls from my childhood, and I seen them there at the conference. They're like, "Oh, hey, what's going on?" You know, like, you know. So I met them. And they were like, I said, yeah, I'm about to be a grandmother, you know. And they're like, really? They're like, oh, we got to come up with you need a cool grandmother name. Because like I said, I was only 36 at the time, 37, going on 37 when she was born. Like, you need the cool grandmother name. And I'm thinking like, okay, well, I wanted to start with a K. So the whole time during this conference, we were kind of like coming up with different things.
You crowdsourced your grandmother name. All right.
Yes. And finally, the girls were saying some names, and all of a sudden, I don't know, it just hit me. I was like, I got it, you guys, I got it. They was like, what? I was like, Kiwi. They was like, yes. And so
That's like the perfect cool grandmother name, because it's something that like a little baby can say, like a little toddler can say. It sounds kind of cute. It sounds like they were probably trying. It almost sounds like something the kid would try and say when they're trying to say grandma or something like that. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and it's kind of cool to like, if other people call you Kiwi, it's like, that's kind of cool.
Well, that's the thing is like,
Like
after
grandma,
she was
like
born,
you don't want to be partying with that.
yeah, my coworkers started calling me Kiwi. So they would be like, oh, hey, Kiwi. So yeah. So then one day, someone who didn't know that I was a grandmother came to us like, why do people call you Kiwi? And I was like, well, that's my grandmother name. They was like, you're what? I was like, my grandmother name. They was like, you're a grandmother? I'm like, yeah. It's like,
You didn't look at him and say, because I'm from New Zealand.
Because I like flightless birds.
yeah, exactly. They was all like, yeah. They're like, oh, okay. You know, so yeah. So it's kind of funny. But it's funny, the first time my granddaughter heard someone my mother call me Karen, my mother was like, oh, Karen, go and get something out the room, you know. And my granddaughter was like, she's about 3 days. She's like, don't call her that name. That's not her name. Don't call her that name. Her name is Kiwi. And my mother looked at her and looked at me. She's like, Kiwi, will you go in the room again? So yeah, so that's my, yeah. So some of my adult friends, I see people, they call me Kiwi. Still call me Kiwi. Yeah.
So you have a little bit of a backup name if the Karen thing gets a little too out of control.
Yeah,
like,
that's mine.
I'm not even Karen anymore. I'm just Kiwi.
Yeah, I'm Kiwi. Yeah, you know, yeah. So.
All right, cool. All right, we finish every podcast with 2 questions.
Okay.
What do you love about UA, and what would you change?
So it's funny because when you ask me what I love about UA, because I'm an employee, I think about working in the UA. But then after I thought about it, I was like, well, is he talking about the city of UA? So it's like,
It's however you want to answer.
Take that the way you want.
However you want to answer the question.
So it's funny. So I love working here because of just things like this. I've never had so much interaction with, you know, the big boss and, you know, the medium boss and, you know, and the small boss, you know, whatever.
So by the way, that went in order from She was pointing to Maggie when she said big boss. Steve was pointing to me when she said little boss.
So so I think I really do. I love working here. I love the people, but also like the city. I like all the parks. I think it's really beautiful. I've had a chance to visit a few. I wish I could spend more time here, but I had to get to the other side of town. So I had to get out of here in the evening. Got to get home. Yeah, I love the city. I think it's very. It's starting to be very culturistic too. So not pretending. So I like it.
What would you change?
So, change.
And this makes me a little nervous because Karen does not hold back. So I'm just waiting what it's going to be. It's like, don't say city attorney.
Don't say city manager.
So,
Yeah, you can say Maggie if you want. But
She's not gonna say me.
Seriously, I've been asked this question like a couple, 2 or 3 times. I don't think I would change anything. I think we should have more dance parties here, that would be something, I think we have, the girls keep talking to me. It's just, we've been so busy lately. We're growing and it's a lot going on. And, we collected almost 45 million this year in taxes. And so the goal next year is to beat that. So I don't really have a whole lot of time to teach these ladies how to line dance, but we want to get together. We want to do a line dance lunch hour, like on a Tuesday or something, where we could just.
Man, I'm gonna be walking out. I'm gonna be walking out from my office at lunch and then going on a walk or something. I'm gonna see like 20 people in the lobby just doing line dance.
Yeah, we want to do that.
So here's what Darren's going to offer to you. Darren is going to offer that if when we cross $55 million in revenue.
Oh gosh.
Darren's gonna do a dance routine with you.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
You notice I offered Darren.
Yeah.
Darren. Well,
I got 5.
I'm gonna add like 6 people. It's gonna be Darren, Steve, Brent, and John.
Oh, Brent and John definitely should because they were the finance department.
Yeah, Brent and John definitely should.
Yeah. So
I think,
What about Jeff and IT?
Jeff's got.
He's probably got moves.
Jeff's
got
got
moves.
Jeff's sneaky. Jeff's got moves.
Does that intimidate you?
Yeah, we don't want Jeff anywhere near us.
No, I would be willing. I would be willing to bet money Jeff's got some. Jeff was like a professional skateboarder.
He's just kind of cool.
He's got far more coordination and low key cool to him than.
Yeah, no, he would show us up. Jeff, you're not invited. We love you, but you got to dance on your own day.
Yeah.
Maybe more towards Chief Zimmer.
He can join us. He's pretty cool, but I think we'd be okay if Chief joined us.
Oh, he can dance.
No.
I don't think he can.
Okay. So
We don't want to be dancing
Maybe
with people who are
maybe if
good.
it's a polka, but that's about it.
We're only on the Darren and Steve day. It's only non-dancers.
y'all don't dance? Well, how did you guys get wives?
I dance.
I don't understand.
No, I will dance. I won't do line dances. I can't coordinate. I got the music in me.
Okay,
so
I
do
got you.
my
So
own
you just
thing.
do your own
Yeah, I could just do my thing, but like
Yeah,
doing this,
okay.
like everyone does a step here, I'll trip.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I see Steve line dance. He does pretty good. He can step in.
I am terminally stiff. I have absolutely no movement.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
So-
You just gotta relax a little
My
bit.
hips have absolutely no side to side in them.
Here's my question. This is dumb, I know, but like every time they play one of these songs, everyone runs out on the dance floor. Like everyone knows the moves already.
Yeah.
How do they figure them out?
Okay, so because you wasn't a '70s child, right? You was born in the '80s.
I was born in 77.
70. Okay, but you was
too
kind of
young.
So we practice at home. Okay, that's how
okay.
we learned how to dance. You get in the mirror, you dance with your sisters, your brothers, your cousins. We all so when we get to the club,
You're ready.
we're ready. So
I'm
that's,
like everyone, even little kids know these steps.
Yeah,
They're, like, doing the
exactly.
thing.
Well, now it's all like on TikTok and
but I'm saying
Instagram.
before YouTube, before all that, you practice at home. It was funny because my mother's older sister, she's 94 now. When she turned 60, and when she turned 60, she was hot. She was the bomb. And we had a 60th party for her, and my brother then, he was only 10 years old or whatever, and electric slide came on, and all of a sudden
which
my mother,
you cut your
electric slide. You can
let's
never
just
dance that
remember,
again.
You cut the song that you're about to tell a wonderful story about your.
Yeah, I know, but that was because that's a 30-year-old. That's how long I'm telling you that
Okay.
electric slide's been out. It's
All
30 years ago. So we're out here, and all of a sudden my brother just walks out there and starts, electric, you know, moving around. And my mother was like, she was shocked. How come he knows? Mom, we taught him. What do you think we be doing? We, you know, that's what we did. You know, so you have to practice. Get in the mirror. You know, Steve, you need to practice your hip movement. You know, like get in the mirror.
Look, I'm looking around Steve's house. Luckily, there is no mirror in here. Otherwise, we'd walk in for a meeting and Steve would be like, it's electric.
Right,
So-
it's electric.
So if you're driving down Tremont Road after it's turned dark and I'm standing in here dancing, it's because I can now see my reflection, and Karen told me I have to practice.
Yeah,
my
you practice.
dance
Yeah. So yeah, Holly be walking by like, Steve, what the heck? Oh, you've been listening to Karen again. It's all right. It's all right. Yeah, like what are you doing? But yeah, so you get in the mirror. You know, you get your moves on.
So you do have to practice or learn it. You just don't innately know this. 'Cause
No.
I don't know how these little kids just
Yeah,
come out there.
you just practice and yeah. But like Steve said, in today's age, yeah, it's all on TikTok and YouTube and all that. But back in our day, you taught the neighborhood. We got ready for Sunday.
Which one it instructs you during the song? Is that the Cupid Shuffle?
Mm-hmm.
Take
Yeah.
a step back now, y'all. What is
Yeah.
To the left, to the left.
To the left, to the left.
Yeah, but yeah. So yeah, that's the gist of that. So, but Val told me that I can't when we get ready to end the podcast, that I have to let her know because we were talking about. I told her, I said, yeah, I know what Steven was going to talk about, and she was saying she likes old school rap.
Val?
Val.
Yes, Val's
Val?
old. Yeah, Val. Oh, you don't know.
We need to get Val
So-
on the
so-
show.
Oh yeah, you don't know how cool Val
Val,
is.
Untold
is cool.
Secrets?
Yes.
Val for our listeners, Val is our purchasing manager.
Yes, she is. And we were talking. I said, yeah. So one day, I don't know. We were having one of our breakfasts in Brent's office, like we always do, and we were sitting there. And I don't know why we got on the subject, but me and Val broke out with the Sugar Hill Gang.
Val likes the Sugar Hill.
Yes, she
You mean
does.
hip hop?
Yes,
hippity,
hip hop, the hippie to the hippie, the hip hop, and you don't stop a rockin' to the bang bang boogie. Say up, jump the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie to beat.
What you
So
get
they were
is
like-
not a test.
Yeah.
I'm rapping to the beat.
Go ahead, Darren. All right.
No,
Yeah. So yeah.
Darren's one of these guys who can do just about any lyric. 'Cause
Oh,
he's
yeah.
that-
Oh, okay.
he-
you the lyric guy? Oh,
he-
right.
he's that kind of
Yeah.
wicked smart where he just remembers every lyric of everything. And
Yeah. Well, it was funny because me and Val were like right on the same cue, and they all looked at us like, "Did y'all? We didn't practice that. We just both came out because that was the thing in our day. You know, that was like the thing. So yeah, those were some lyrics you had to know.
Yeah.
You know, so whenever me and my friends are out and they have karaoke, and they always play that song, and my friends are like, give it to her, give it to her. So I have to get up there, you know, I've had a couple drinks, and I have to get up there, and the whole crowd is like going crazy. It's like, yeah.
All right, so
So-
I'm ditching. I am officially ditching line dancing, and we're now going to have karaoke in the building.
All right, well,
That's
that'd
what
be
we
nice.
need. Yeah,
So we're gonna have Darren versus Karen rap battle.
we love rap battles. I will do that.
Oh my God, oh Lord.
Oh,
Yeah, so, whew.
all right. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
Slightly exhausting because it was so much fun. I feel like James Brown after a concert. I feel all sweaty and hot.
I know.
My
Woo!
problem is like I'm literally going through all the lyrics of Rapper's Delight right now, and I'm like, it won't stop in my head. So
Oh my God.
A hip hop, a hippie, a hippie.
Yeah.
Don't stop.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
try to stop. Thank you, Karen.
Just make
Yeah.
it stop. Make it
Yeah.
stop. Thank you very much for coming on. This was a ton of fun.
Yes,
And thanks
you,
for
yes.
everything you do for the city and for our residents. Love having you part of the team. Somehow you are managing to make I know how the secret sauce in you managing to make the finance department way cooler than it's ever been is now Val. I didn't know that Val was your secret weapon in making the finance department cool.
She said we were OGs. Oh, girls.
So thanks for coming on, and have a happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year. Thank you very much.
All right. You want me to keep talking?
That's
Do you want me-
better.
do you
All
want
right.
me in this voice, or do you want me in my normal voice? Which voice do you want me in?
Radio.
My radio voice.
My radio voice.
Steve. I am Steve Shoney.
Welcome.
I had Karen Brown in my phone as Karen Brown, and Karen Brown got mad at me because it didn't say Kiwi Brown. Because Kiwi's your...
Kiwi is my grandmother name. In case you guys didn't know. You know, I was a grandmother at 37. So I had to have a cool name.
That is a cool grandmother name.
Isn't that nice? Yeah.
Not
AKA, yes, AKA Kiwi Brown.